whatever time you're watching this. It's my morning. It's like 10 something. And I am coming to you live from a sincere moment of gratitude. I'm so grateful to wake up and drink my coffee on the deck at the beach. I was so overwhelmed with the decision of whether to move out of the house that Tyler and I shared in Maryland and move here to Delaware. And I agonized over it. I mean, there was a lot that went into it, obviously. But ultimately, I allowed the decision to be driven by what I felt deeply that my soul needed. Honestly, I thought about where I would have the best chance of survival. The beach is where I feel most calm and most peaceful. And so I'm so grateful that I had the strength and the courage to trust what my soul needed and come here and have this moment. This is also the end of a pretty challenging week for me. The last few days have just been a struggle with a lot of anticipation for news I was hoping for and getting news I wasn't hoping for, and just my mental health has kind of been all over the place. And I'm on the verge of another big decision. And like moving, no matter what I do, it's gonna bring a lot of change. And change is so hard, and it's a really big part of grief. Processing the loss of a person you love and grieving what they're missing and adjusting to their absence, that's one thing. That's the known grief stuff. But how it fundamentally changes you as a person, I think, is less known. And I think you don't really get it until you experience it. At least, that's definitely the case for me. I think it also definitely depends on the loss. Some losses change things more than others. For me, losing my fiancé, my life partner, the person I lived with, my closest confidant, that changed everything. Everything. And that's been so much to process. But there is one thing that hasn't completely changed yet: my work. I've been in the event planning industry since college, and it's a hustle. And a lot of how I used to operate was necessary to my success. Being an only child, a Capricorn, growing up in the sport of gymnastics where the goal is literally perfection, it created kind of the perfect recipe for traits and skills that are needed in event planning, being super goal oriented and achievement focused and staying on track and always having a timeline and a plan and executing. So that served me well in that line of work, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But I've been fundamentally changed as a person since losing Tyler, and I have also been agonizing over what that means for work. I just don't feel like my soul can bear that kind of grind anymore. And even if it could, my priorities and my desires as a person have shifted so much. So it's somehow become this big existential question for me that's been taking a lot of my energy. And I've been doing a lot of work on myself, a lot of introspection and self-discovery in and outside of therapy. And I've been searching so hard for purpose. I'm trying to uncover what I'm motivated by now, because I truly feel like I'm a different person, and I have to learn who this person is and what this person wants. And in a way, it feels kind of freeing that I have this new open-minded approach where I'm not considering all the things I used to consider, like what everybody else is doing and what the typical success looks like and what my parents want for me. Like, I mean, sure, I still think about it, but it's not the basis of how I am making my decisions and forming my desires for myself at this point. So that feels freeing, but it's also like so overwhelming, because then what the heck do I do? I don't have parameters to help me focus, you know? I've just been spending a lot of time trying to like dissect all this newness and allow myself to figure out what's next with that frame of mind. And I want to just pause, because even 3 months ago, when I posted that burnout video, I could not even see or care about the future. Like, I was truly surviving hour by hour. And sometimes, some days that's still the case. I don't think that that's necessarily over. Like, grief is a roller coaster. It's an ebb and flow. But I do feel it's necessary to just pause and recognize the growth in being able to see a future. Even see it, and then really think about it intentionally with this new mindset. Like, that's big. That's big. Anyway, I have an idea for how to help myself see a future with a little bit more clarity and just work from there. Maybe in sharing this, someone else who's going through a similar thing can do it too, or can just get something out of it. Because I can't be the only one experiencing this. Like, I know I can't. So yeah, let's do it. Okay. We're lighting a candle. We're gonna get good inspirational vibes. Okay, so like I was saying, I have felt like a huge failure by realizing that I just can't work the same way I used to. And not only is that a failure, but then it's also like panic inducing, because what do I do now? And how do I even figure out what I could or would do if I'm just a totally different person, if I want different things, if my priorities are different? Like, where do I go from here? And it's just, it's very overwhelming. And I don't think I'm alone in this feeling of I don't want to do what I've been doing. I can't do what I've been doing. I think there are probably a lot of people in my generation, millennials, who are, who have pursued a path based on other people's expectations, or things that society tells us we should do, and then are kind of having this awakening where they're like, wait a second, I don't really even want to do that anymore. What do I want? I've never even considered what I wanted, because I've been so concerned about what I think I should want. I mean, that can happen without a huge life tragedy or big life event at all. It could just be a small thing that sets off that, that shift in a mindset. But anyway, that's where I've been, and it can be really hard to figure out how to rediscover yourself and pivot from what you've always known. Fortunately, I have been so, so privileged. I know it's a privilege, and I'm so grateful for having an employer who has really supported my healing and has really amazing benefits that I've been encouraged to take advantage of. So I've been able to take leave from work and spend time just focusing on myself and my grief and my healing. And like I said, I know what a privilege that is. I know not everybody has that opportunity. And that blessing is not lost on me. I have tried to use that time purposefully. And that time is, I believe, the only reason that I'm able to be in this mental place I'm in now, where I'm not only beginning to see a future again, but I also have recently discovered this desire to be intentional about it. And I've even started to picture what it looks like. So I'm making a vision board of what my future could look like. And I think what's different about a vision board I may have created before experiencing the loss of Tyler is that, like I said, I'm trying so hard to not think about what everybody else is doing, what everybody else would think, what society says I'm supposed to do. I'm really just trying to listen to myself and trust the things that make me feel purposeful. And that is really what I'm realizing is my motivation. And without meaning or purpose, I just really can't do anything. I have to be driven by things that make me feel connected to something bigger than myself. And I'm just trying to really trust the universe and trust that my soul knows what it needs and let that guide me as opposed to all the external stuff that used to guide me. So I'm kind of excited to put this together, to see what this new version of me and mindset can create in the future. Like, what future could I have now that I'm not worried about those things? And, it's not going to give me all the answers, but I do think it will lead me to what I'm meant to do. I just need to figure out what that is. And I think this will help me take one step toward it. Okay, here it is. Ta-da! I mean, call it cliche or whatever, but I really have developed a true belief in manifestation. And I think, honestly, for me, it was born out of a need to believe that good things are coming and a reminder that I deserve those good things, because when things are really dark, the only thing that makes it worth it to keep going is to believe that good things can still happen. And, this is just a practice of that. I need to believe in something bigger than myself and trust that if I do, and I let myself explore the things that I feel are meant for me, then maybe it'll even come true, And honestly, through this exercise and just my thought exploration, even in the last week, some pretty inspiring ideas have come up. And I think anything that elicits inspiration is a good sign, move toward that. So I think I'm gonna. Stay tuned. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to join me on this healing journey and continue watching the future unfold with me, you could hit the subscribe button and come back when there are more videos. I truly hope that if you're on a similar journey, that you feel seen and understood and know that you're not alone. We are in this together. I hope that something I said or shared resonated with you. And if it did, I would love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I am sending you light and love. Till next time.